Are you ready for the ultimate Commanders explosion in 2025? Picture this. Our backup running back isn't backup to anyone. After being underestimated in 2024, this veteran already broke fantasy records while injured. And now knows the system. Do you know what happens when a triple threat syncs with our offense? Defense is crying. But wait, Adam Peters' master move has just been revealed. A left tackle that left the Patriots tilted in one practice. Dominated. Speed rushes, power moves, even had rookies scared. And this isn't a tease. It's the protection we need for our QB. And the hottest bit, the contract BOMB of our star WR. Trading him? Insanity. There's a brutal solution that guarantees big bucks and chemistry with the new deep threat. But this is just the beginning. If you don't subscribe now, you'll miss how these three elements launch our journey to the Super Bowl. Hit like, turn on the bell, and don't be the last to know how Washington dominates the NFC. Click now before it's gone. After years of watching this team struggle to find real depth in the running back position, we finally have something special on our hands. Austin Eckler isn't just any backup runner, and I'll tell you this man is about to show why. The Commanders made the right choice bringing him from the Los Angeles Chargers. Let me explain exactly what we're seeing here. When Eckler arrived in Washington in 2024, many analysts wrote him off as a washed-up running back. But those analysts were completely wrong, and the numbers prove it. Alex K. from Bleacher Report just published an analysis confirming what many of us already knew. Eckler is set for a massive comeback season. Do you remember his first season here? I think many of you thought Eckler was done after seeing some uneven performances. But let me explain something the casual analysts don't see. This man missed 5 games due to injury and still managed 132.3 fantasy points. That's consistency, baby. But let's dive deeper into these numbers because the story is even better than it seems on the surface. During those 5 weeks he missed due to injury, the Commanders realized how valuable Eckler truly was to their offense. Not just as a runner, but as the kind of versatility they need to keep defenses guessing. And here's what excites me for 2025. Eckler finished as RB13 or better in 3 consecutive games between weeks 9 and 11. Do you think that was a fluke? I tell you no. That was a veteran finding his groove in a completely new system. And now that he knows Dan Quinn and Eric Bieniemy's system, this man is going to be devastating. Let's analyze exactly what this means for Washington's offense. During those 3 consecutive weeks where Eckler shone, we saw something we hadn't seen in years, a backup runner who could truly change the pace of the game. It wasn't just about replacing Brian Robinson Jr., it was about creating a completely different dimension for the offense. In Week 9 against the Packers, Eckler didn't just run efficiently. His 4 receptions for 38 yards showed exactly why Dan Quinn and Eric Bieniemy wanted him so much. This man can line up in the slot, run routes from the backfield, and create mismatches against linebackers that simply can't cover him in open space. Week 10 against Pittsburgh was when we truly saw the explosive potential. Eckler had 15 carries for 89 yards, but more importantly was how he ran. It wasn't just brute power like Robinson Jr. It was that combination of vision, change of direction, and separation speed that makes defenses have to respect. Multiple threats. And in Week 11 against the Eagles, when Philadelphia was specifically preparing to stop Washington's ground attack, Eckler gave them a masterclass in adaptability. 6 receptions for 89 yards and a touchdown, showing that no matter how you prepare defensively, this man is going to find ways to hurt you. But here's what I really love about having Eckler. He's not just a runner. This man can catch, passes, block, and has the experience of being a triple threat with the Los Angeles Chargers for years. With Jaden Daniels having an extra year of experience, imagine the plays they are going to design with Eckler coming out of the backfield. It's going to be amazing. Let's talk specifically about his ability as a receiver, because this is where Eckler can truly transform Washington's offense. During his best years with the Chargers, Eckler averaged over 50 receptions per season. His hands are reliable, his route knowledge is sophisticated, and his ability to find soft spots in coverage is elite. Eric Bieniemy has already shown that he loves using versatile running backs in the passing game. With Travis Kelce in Kansas City, Bieniemy constantly designed plays where the running backs created coverage problems for defenses. Now imagine that with Eckler, who is probably more explosive in open space than any running back Bieniemy has had before. The blocking dimension is also crucial, and here's where many fans underestimate Eckler's value. This man has 9 years of NFL experience. He's blocked for Phillip Rivers, for Justin Herbert. He's been in high-pressure situations throughout his career. When Jaden Daniels needs those extra 2 seconds in the pocket to find Terry McLaurin or Luke McCaffrey downfield, Eckler is going to be there providing reliable protection. Now, I ask you, do you think Brian Robinson Jr. can handle 300 touches this season without quality help? I don't think so. And that's why Eckler is going to be fundamental. When Robinson needs to rest, when we have to protect leads, when we need that extra versatility in passing downs, Eckler is going to be there. But let's go beyond the basics, because there's a strategic dimension here that is fascinating. Robinson Jr. is pure power runner. He's the kind of back who's going to gain tough yards, convert third and short, punish defenses in the second half when they're already tired. But Eckler is the perfect complement because he offers something completely different. With Eckler in the backfield, defenses can't just stack the box and challenge Washington to win with the passing game. They have to respect the threat of wheel routes, screen passes, perfectly executed draws. That tactical versatility is going to open up the entire playbook for Dan Quinn and Eric Bieniemy. And don't forget the rookie Jaquan Crosby-Merritt putting pressure for more snaps. That competition is only going to make Eckler more motivated to prove he still has a lot to give at this level. Crosby-Merritt has impressive physical talent as a 7th-round pick, but he doesn't have the experience or system knowledge that Eckler brings immediately. This creates a perfect situation for Washington. Robinson Jr. as the starter handling the heavy load. Eckler as the versatile backup who changes the pace of the game and creates unique problems for defenses. And Crosby-Merritt gradually developing as the potential future at the position. It's real depth for the first time in years. If that surprises you, wait to hear this. One joint practice with the Patriots was enough to show that Adam Peters has just pulled off the smartest trade of his career as general manager. Laramie Tonsil didn't just justify the investment. He completely exceeded IT. Dean Jones from Riggo's Rag was there witnessing every snap, every block, every moment where Tonsil showed exactly why the Commanders were willing to pay the price they did to bring him from Houston. And let me tell you, what he saw should excite every burgundy and gold fan on the planet. After all these years of watching our quarterbacks get hit like pinatas, seeing offensive lines that looked like revolving doors, we finally have someone who can truly protect Jaden Daniels' blind side. And I'll tell you this, since Trent Williams left, we haven't had a left tackle of this caliber. But let's be specific about what it really means to have Tonsil, because there are levels of difference between an average tackle and a 5-time Pro Bowler. During that joint practice with New England, it wasn't just that Tonsil blocked well. It was complete dominance. It was physical intimidation. It was sending a message to the entire league that no one is going to touch our quarterback. On that left side, did you see what happened in that practice? Nobody, and I mean nobody, could get past Tonsil. Those who tried too hard paid a very high price. That's the difference between having an average tackle and having a 5-time Pro Bowler protecting your franchise quarterback. The Patriots have some legit pass rushers. Matthew Judon may no longer be there, but they have real defensive talent. When those rushers tried to use speed moves against Tonsil, he wiped them out with perfect footwork. When they tried to bull rush him, Tonsil planted them into the ground like they were practice squad players. When they tried finesse moves, Tonsil anticipated them like he'd read the defensive playbook beforehand. But here's what really impressed me according to Jones' report. It wasn't just Tonsil's individual technique. It was his instinct communication with the rest of the offensive line. This man arrived from Houston just a few months ago and is already functioning as the veteran leader this offensive line desperately needed. Now, I ask you, do you remember how Jaden Daniels looked? When he had clean protection last year, he was unstoppable. Imagine now with Tonsil completely securing his left side. Rollout plays, play extensions, everything is going to be at a whole different level. Let's analyze specifically what changed in that practice because there were technical elements that casual fans probably didn't catch, but that are fundamental to understanding Tonsil's impact. First point, stance and anchor. When New England's pass rushers tried to bull rush Tonsil, he not only resisted the initial push, but actually gained ground forward, pushing the rushers beyond the pocket. Second point, footwork and pass protection. Tonsil isn't just reacting to the pass rusher's moves, he is dictating the tempo of the engagement. His kick slides are perfect, his punches are precise, and more importantly, his timing is completely synchronized with Daniels' pocket rhythm. Third point, technical versatility. During different drills, we saw Tonsil handle speed rushes with classic technique, neutralize power moves with perfect leverage, and even demonstrate his skill in run blocking when the Patriots simulated different defensive fronts. This isn't a tackle that only does one thing well. This is complete dominance. And here's what excites me the most. Josh Connolly Jr. also had a fantastic day against New England. If this rookie can develop as a right tackle while Tonsil dominates the left side, we are going to have the most solid tackle pair we've had in decades. But let's specifically talk about what having this combination means. Connolly Jr. was the 29th pick in the draft for a reason. This young man has the physical talent to be a starting tackle in the NFL, but like most rookies, he needs time to adapt to the professional game. Having Tonsil on the other side gives Connolly Jr. the luxury of developing without the pressure of carrying the entire protection responsibility. During that practice, when the Patriots tried to specifically target the rookie with pressure packages, Tonsil immediately adjusted his technique to provide help when needed. That's veteran leadership in action. That's exactly what a young offensive line needs to develop quickly. And do you know what's the smartest thing about all this? Peters didn't just think about the present. He thought about the future. Tonsil has the experience to protect immediately, while Connolly develops gradually. That's top-level strategic planning. The run-blocking dimension was also impressive during that practice. Tonsil isn't just an elite pass protector. He can create massive holes in the running game. When the Commanders ran power schemes to his side, Tonsil was eliminating edge defenders and creating running lanes that Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler are going to love throughout the season. I think many of you were worried about Tonsil's penalties last season with Houston. But let me tell you something. I'd rather have a tackle who commits some penalties, but keeps my quarterback standing than a clean one who allows him to get hit constantly. And besides, many of those penalties in Houston were a result of frustration with a team situation that was completely out of control. The Texans had massive organizational problems last year, and that was reflected in the individual performance of several players. Now Tonsil is in a stable organization with a coaching staff that knows exactly how to use him, and with a young quarterback who is going to benefit enormously from his protection. The joint practice also demonstrated something crucial about Tonsil's physical preparation. After an off-season where he took his time in voluntary OTAs and was carefully managed in training camp, when it was time to put on pads and play real football, Tonsil was completely ready. That's veteran professionalism. That's knowing exactly how to prepare your body for a full NFL season. And when you thought we were done, the situation with Terry McLaurin has a solution that could benefit everyone, and I'm going to explain exactly why this proposal makes perfect sense for both the player and the organization. David Aldridge from The Athletic just published what could be the smartest solution to this contract situation that has had the entire fan base worried for weeks. After seeing McLaurin request a trade, after all the tension that has been generated, Aldridge proposed something that I think is brilliant. Use the $17.1 million we have available in salary cap to increase his base salary this season by $3 to $4 million, and fully guarantee his 2026 salary at $27 to $28 million. But before digging into the solution, we need to understand exactly why we're in this situation. McLaurin is in the last year of his current contract, earning $15.5 million in base salary this season. After a season where he recorded team highs with 82 receptions, 1,096 receiving yards, and 13 touchdowns working with Jaden Daniels, McLaurin obviously feels he deserves to be compensated as one of the league's top receivers. And honestly, he's right. When you look at what DK Metcalf just received from Pittsburgh, 5 years, $150 million, and compare the recent production, McLaurin has a legitimate case to be in that conversation. But here's where Aldridge's proposal becomes really smart. Do you understand how smart this is? McLaurin would get more than $30 million guaranteed over the next calendar year, and the Commanders would keep their number one receiver without having to completely restructure their long-term salary structure. Let's break down exactly how. This would work financially. The Commanders have $17.1 million in cap space available after their first 51 players are under contract, including McLaurin's current $15.5 million salary. Aldridge's proposal suggests using $3 to $4 million of that available space to increase McLaurin's base salary for 2025, bringing it to approximately $18.5 to $19.5 million. Simultaneously, Washington would fully guarantee McLaurin's salary for 2026 in the range of $27 to $28 million. This means McLaurin would see guaranteed money of over $45 million during the next 2 years, which would definitely put him in the elite receiver conversation in terms of compensation. From McLaurin's perspective, this solves his main concern, which is financial security. At 29 years old, he understands that this is probably his last big contract, and he wants to ensure he's going to be compensated appropriately for his production. This structure gives him exactly that without forcing him to wait until the next offseason to see real money. From the perspective of the Commanders, it's equally smart because it avoids having to make a massive restructuring of their salary cap to accommodate a massive $150 million contract immediately. Instead, they're essentially paying market rate for 2 years of elite production, with the flexibility to reevaluate the situation after the 2026 season. Now I ask you, does it make sense to trade away a receiver who just had 82 receptions, 1,096 yards, and 13 touchdowns with Jaden Daniels? I tell you, that would be complete insanity, especially when we're the 6th favorite to win the Super Bowl, according to DraftKings. But let's go deeper into why keeping McLaurin is absolutely crucial for this team's championship aspirations. Last year, the connection between Daniels and McLaurin was magical. It wasn't just about statistical numbers. It was about perfect timing. It was about mutual trust in high-pressure situations. It was about McLaurin being the reliable go-to option when Daniels needed to make crucial plays. During the playoffs, when Washington was making their historic run, McLaurin was consistently the receiver Daniels looked for on third downs, in red zone situations, in moments where the game was on the line. That chemistry doesn't develop overnight, and trading McLaurin would essentially throw that chemistry out the window. And here's the point many aren't considering. McLaurin hasn't even practiced with Deebo Samuel or worked with Laramie Tonsil yet. A tackle with Tonsil's versatility can be the lead blocker for McLaurin on reverses, can help him on screens. Receivers need time to sync, to understand exactly where their teammates are going to cut, how they like to come out of their routes. This is a crucial dimension Aldridge mentions in his column that many fans aren't fully considering. Samuel was brought in specifically to create mismatches and open more opportunities for McLaurin. But for that partnership to work effectively, they need time in practice to develop the necessary chemistry. Think of it this way. Samuel can attract coverage to him in certain formations, creating single coverage for McLaurin. Alternatively, McLaurin can draw the opposing team's best cornerback's attention, leaving more space for Samuel to operate in the slot or on shorter routes. But these dynamics only work when both receivers understand exactly how the other operates. Every day that passes without McLaurin on the field is a lost day of chemistry with the new offensive elements. And I believe Aldridge's proposal resolves this immediately. Give McLaurin the money he deserves for his production, secure his immediate future, and keep intact the offensive core that led us to the NFC Championship game, the dimension width. Tonsil is particularly interesting because an elite left tackle can completely transform how a receiver like McLaurin operates. With better protection, Daniels is going to have more time to let deeper routes develop. McLaurin is exceptional at comebacks, outs, on routes that require time to properly develop. With Tonsil providing consistent protection, we're going to see more opportunities for those high-value routes. Additionally, as Aldridge mentions, Tonsil has the versatility to get involved in the run game in ways that can directly benefit McLaurin. Screen passes, reverses, trick plays, all these options become more viable when you have a left tackle that can move in space and create blocks on different levels of the field. And do you know what message this sends to the young players? That if you produce on the field, this organization is going to reward you. That's the culture Peters and Quinn are building. And keeping McLaurin is fundamental to that. This is a point that cannot be understated. The Commanders are trying to establish a winning culture, a culture where hard work and production are rewarded appropriately. If they let McLaurin go after the best statistical season of his career, after being instrumental in their playoff run, what message would that send to other players? Luke McCaffrey is watching. Jeremy McNichols is watching. The rookies are watching. If McLaurin can have a career-best season and still not receive the compensation he deserves, why would other players give everything they have to this organization? On the other hand, if Washington handles this situation correctly, if they give McLaurin the deal he deserves while maintaining financial flexibility for the future, they establish a precedent that this organization appropriately rewards excellence. That's exactly the kind of culture that attracts free agents, motivates current players, and builds sustainable success. Aldridge's proposal also makes sense from a timing standpoint. The Commanders are in a championship window right now. Daniels showed he can be a franchise quarterback. The defense improved dramatically under Dan Quinn. They added pieces like Tonsil and Samuel to complement the existing core. This is not the time to break up a proven partnership like Daniels-McLaurin over financial considerations that can be creatively resolved. So let's quickly recap. Eckler ready to explode as the versatile X-factor Washington desperately needed. Tonsil completely dominating and proving why he was the trade of the year. McLaurin with a perfect contract solution that keeps our offensive core intact. These three news stories have me convinced this season is going to be special for the Commanders. Do you think Eckler will surpass expectations as RB2 and prove his versatility as a receiver and blocker will open completely new dimensions for Bieniemy's offense? Do you believe Tonsil will be the transformative difference in protection that allows Daniels to take this passing game to the next level? And do you think we should pay McLaurin according to Aldridge's proposal to maintain that magical chemistry? That took us to the NFC Championship game. Let me know all your opinions in the comments because I read each one of them and want to know exactly what you think about each of these situations. If you believe Eckler is going to have a spectacular comeback season and that his versatility will be the secret weapon that no one is expecting, hit like on this video. If you think the trade for Tonsil was the smartest move Peters has made and that it's going to completely transform this offensive line, subscribe because tomorrow I guarantee we'll have more explosive news about our Commanders. And you can't miss what's coming because this season is just starting and we're already seeing moves that will define our future for years to come. Join this burgundy and gold family because together we're going to live every moment of this historic season that's approaching.